Listen to this episode if you are asking yourself what to do now that Black Friday is over. While this episode is going out, it is currently Black Friday. I hope your holiday sales are going well. Today, we're really going to dive into what to do for the rest of the season and what this really looks like post Black Friday. Now, you might be feeling a mix of emotions at this point. It's really common for people to be in either one of two categories. One category, they're bummed that their sales haven't been where they thought they would be this year, or they are very overwhelmed. They're filled with gratitude, but they are also filled with a very long to-do list. So we're going to kind of dive in to both of those concepts, what it kind of looks like from there. This is a question that I get asked every year is, are holiday sales done? What do I do now? Are people still buying? What does this really look like? And at the end of the day, yes, a lot of people have been starting to buy earlier. Yes, a lot of people do have some of their shopping there, but this doesn't mean that sales are done for the holiday season. You still have quite a bit of time. And in 2024, if you're listening to this then, the Black Friday weekend is very late this year. For Cyber Monday to be in the beginning of December, that is super late. So it actually is a little bit more condensed in December this year than it normally is. And so we do want to take that into consideration. Now, I want to give you a statistic here that I think is really important, is that in 2022, there was a study done and 72% of people said that they wanted to shop small for the holiday season. And only 22% of people think that Black Friday and Cyber Monday is a time to actually shop small. Meaning, now that today is Black Friday weekend is not actually a major time that consumers think of shopping at a small business. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think you should sell on this weekend, but it does mean that it's not the primary weekend. Most people actually think of Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend to be for big purchases. They're looking at their favorite clothing brands. They're looking for tech. They're looking for different pieces. They're looking for the new consoles. They're looking for a new TV. They're looking for the major, big kind of doorbuster style of sales, which doesn't really equate most of the time to small business spending. So I actually do see a lot of my clients, they are both seeing an increase in sales earlier, meaning kind of by the middle to end of October, people are starting to buy for holidays, as well as people are still buying those first couple of weeks of December. You have to think about it for yourself. Think about, picture yourself on December 5th. What's going on? And of course, some people shop a lot sooner than others. Some people are going to the store on December 23rd. I have been that person for a long time before, but now I shop a little bit earlier, now that I have this whole list of small businesses I can shop from. But it doesn't mean that December 5th, everybody's done buying. You still have people on your list. You might have the major gifts there, but people are still trying to find gifts for people. They are still trying to find, for their hardest people on their list. They're still trying to find gifts for maybe some extra gifts to that major gift that they're giving people, or maybe they honestly haven't even started yet. Maybe they have spent up until this point, they've been spending money on themselves. They've been buying for themselves during all of these sales and all of these promos. So that means to keep on selling. I like to have two major focuses in December, one of them being some sort of sales incentive, and the other one being kind of like a countdown to Christmas, which, that can be, depending on the year, it can be like the 18th to the 20th. Whenever you're guaranteed shipping and kind of give yourself a little buffer there, you're still trying to give people an excuse to shop from you. So I would say some sort of sale, some sort of promo. I don't think December is a time to really be launching too much. Maybe if you're launching something for New Year's, I wouldn't say December is a time to really launch holiday things. You might be able to launch something. There might be some nuances to your industry if you're incredibly seasonal. Maybe you have a perishable item that can only be used around the holidays, but most people, I wouldn't say launching in December is a very good idea. I'm more for sales incentives and kind of like that countdown to Christmas. The major thing that I want to get across here is don't stop selling. Don't stop selling. And if you haven't yet really seen a major sales increase, you're feeling a little bummed, I want you to switch the way that you have been selling, because clearly it isn't working. If that is you right now, there is something that just because more people are buying doesn't mean that more people buying means that they want to buy, that they're going to miraculously start buying from you. What we need to do is then switch around the way that you're selling, switch around your messaging, switch around your content, and we'll have to start adding some different strategy behind that. Right now, you are also selling to those last minute Lindas. You're selling to the people that are trying to buy for people that are the hardest on their list. So how can you shift your messaging? How can you shift your content for that? I would do a day that says, hey, if you still have this person on your list, this would be the perfect product for them. Why this product is so good for these different types of people. What you're trying to do right now is give people ideas. You're trying to give people like, oh man, I still have that person on my list. This person's brand would be a really good idea for that person. That is the major focus in your content right now, especially in 2024, meaning that we only have, 2.5 weeks until your countdown to Christmas ends, where you're kind of guaranteed in time for shipping. You have to really get across that who your product is really good for and who that is still left on their list they can fill or they can check off with your product. If you're feeling a little bummed right now, some of the major pieces that I want you to look at is I want you to look at how strategized have you been this year, how many sales, how many promotions have you done, and what are things that you would like to do differently next year. I think a lot of people learn a lot through the holidays. And how strategized have you been? How organized are you? How early did you start? Because the holidays really do start in October. And so my clients that are starting to plan in August and September and early October, those are the clients that really do see the best results. Why? Is because they're set up. When you are organized yourself, your audience also feels that organization through your process, whether it's consciously or not. If you're feeling bummed, what I would do is write down things that you would change for next year, write down different tips and tricks that you are like, oh man, I wish I did this sooner. Because a lot of times come next year, you're gonna be like, shoot, what did I learn last year? So I want you to start jotting down some of those notes now and just realizing that it's not too late to still make sales. It doesn't mean that it is too late for you to make sales. You still can change the way that you're selling. You still can add a sales strategy behind your next sales promotion. You still can mix up your content and get people to buy. What you have to do is switch up your marketing, switch up your sales process, and really add those different strategic pieces to it. Feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to give you kind of an audit and some ideas of what that would look like. Just DM me on Instagram at thisismadisonpaige if you are feeling a little bummed right now. And then if you are overwhelmed with orders, you're feeling a little crazy, you're like, oh my gosh, Maddie, this is going so well. You're really excited about where your business is at. I want you to do a couple of things. First things first, I want you to look at your best sellers and just making sure that you take note of what people are most excited about. I want you to look at which sales promotions are performing the best. And I want you to just kind of take notes of what you feel like really, really worked this year. And this isn't just a feeling. We do want to look at facts. We want to look at data. We want to look at what did people buy the most of, when did they start buying, when did you see your sales increase, and what promotions actually did perform the best. I want you to take note of that for next year. I also want you to take a break and take a little bit of a breather and understand that if you are feeling beyond overwhelmed, you don't actually have to do another promo from now until Christmas. If you feel like you have the bandwidth for it and the capacity, for sure, keep those sales flowing, keep ending this year on a high note, but you get to dictate when your sales come in through how many active sales promotions that you actually run. So you can take a breather and not run too many more sales promotions, kind of just let the passive sales flow in as people are thinking about it. I wouldn't stop posting content, but you can take that step back if you want. If you don't, keep on going, keep your calendar going and start jotting down notes no matter how you're feeling with it. Start jotting down notes of what you would do the same next year, what you would do different, and just some different pieces of actually looking at the data and seeing what worked for you. At this point in the year, we are already starting to think about 2025. What you're doing now is setting you up for Q1 of 2025. And I know you might be rolling your eyes saying, Maddie, I'm not even through the holidays yet. Don't even start talking to me about the new year. I totally understand. But now is a time to start thinking and planning about what you want to do in the new year. Again, this might just be kind of starting to map out some questions, map out some major focuses, map out gaps that you see in your content, in your marketing, in your sales process, and just starting to make a list of what your new year looks like. Once your countdown to Christmas starts, I do recommend doing kind of like a debrief on the 20th of December, saying, all right, this is how the holidays went, this is how the year went, this is what I want to focus on next year. The nice part about the holiday season being at the end of the year is it kind of wraps up our year on a high note. January is usually a slower month in e-commerce because a lot of people spent money in November and December on holiday gifts. And so it kind of allows you to look at how it's almost like the Super Bowl of the year. You get to look at it and you get to say, okay, great. Now, what do I want to do next year? What have I learned this year? It's almost like the payoff of all of the hard work that you do for the first 9 to 10 months of the year. And then you get to see the major changes in the new year. I have so many clients reaching out to me all the time being like, Maddie, I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude. I can't believe how much my sales have grown this year. Looking at this year, like this November over last November, really seeing the differences and the payoff of all of the hard work that they did throughout the year. Because so many more people are buying, this is a great time to really see how much you have grown. It kind of is a strong test to see how much your business grew that year and what that really looks like. Then you're able to take a breather and plan for what your next 12 months would be. So before the actual day of Christmas, I would recommend sitting down and really looking at it and saying, what do I want? What do I feel like I did well? What did I feel like I needed to change next year for the holidays? And what do I feel like are some of the major gaps after having this holiday season? And that can just be really understanding a content strategy. That can literally be, how do I actually make sales from social media? Or that can be a little bit more specific, being, I need somebody to help me pack and ship my orders. I need support in this really small little niche area. It really comes down to just looking at what you really want your next holiday season to look like. I want you to sit down and really have this kind of this journal sesh, this little I really want you to reflect on the past 12 months, reflect on your holiday season, and really map out what you would love for Christmas of 2025 of next year to look like. And then kind of reverse engineer that of what do I need to do in order to make that happen for me. That is what I would do now that Black Friday is over and into the end of the year. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope your Black Friday went really well. I hope you're on the side of being so excited and filled with orders, and that you are really, really loving how your holidays are going. Again, it's the payoff of everything that you did throughout the year. I hope that you are feeling like all of your hard work paid off. If you have any questions for me, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for any answers, feel free to come on over to my Instagram at thisismadisonpage. You can reach out to me there. My DMs are always open for you to answer your questions and to give you any support that you are looking for. If you are looking for some support starting in the new year to really kick off 2025 with a bang, come DM me and say support, and I would love to, and I'd be happy to find which program makes the most sense for you or which level of support really does fit your needs. If you have any questions, as always, reach out. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful for you. I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always.